Hi, my name is Amber Keller, and I'm going to explain what gross domestic product truly is. I'm sure many of you have likely heard the acronym GDP plenty of times in your life, be it from the news, politicians, professors, or family and friends. Most of us will simply nod our heads and think we understand, when in actuality, we don't. There are a vast variety of ways by which one may measure an economy's triumphs and failures. Yet the GDP is generally the most prominent stat touted by economists. To truly understand GDP, let's begin with some basics. For instance, what is GDP? GDP, or Gross Domestic Product, is defined by the International Monetary Fund as the monetary value of final goods and services, that is, those that are bought by a final user, produced in a country in a given period of time. The key phrases in this definition are final goods and produced in a country. Let me further break that down for you. First and foremost, only final goods are counted toward the GDP. The best way to explain this is to think of a car. There are multiple parts to a car: tires, seats, engine parts, calipers, hoses, bearings, etc. The monetary values of these products do not count toward the GDP, despite being produced, because they are intermediate goods, not final goods. The car would be considered the final good because that's what's being sold to the consumer. That's not to say that all tires don't count toward the GDP. For instance, any aftermarket tires, such as snow tires, replacement tires, or off-road tires, that are sold directly to consumers count as final goods and therefore count toward a country's gross domestic product. Follow me on that? Secondly, produced in a country. For example, Chevy, an American-owned auto producer, builds a Silverado 1500 in Canada. Does the monetary value of that truck count toward the United States GDP or Canada's? It would ultimately be included in Canada's GDP, despite the sale of the truck occurring within the United States. However, it does count toward the GNP of the United States. GNP is the gross national product. The GNP is similar to the GDP in that they both measure a country's economic growth. According to Investopedia.com, America's GNP is $250 billion larger than its GDP. This is because the US-based companies conduct most of their production operations outside of our borders. In December 2015, the Bureau of Economic Analysis of the U.S. Department of Commerce released a document emphasizing that gross domestic product should not be the only measure by which you base a country's economic prosperity. However, it does give valuable insight into the raw economic and production capabilities in a country in a given time.